Right, we're doing that. Welcome, everybody, to another Arcadia Roundtable. Look upon the regular panel, because I'm joined for the first time in frickin' ages, actually, by Deadly Headley and Luke. We're going to have a little chat today, as if you've never met these two before. We're going to get some gaming history from them both. But before we do, let's find out how they are. I'm going to start with Luke, because I want it. Luke, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Fuck you are. He's a liar. He's just been bullying me for having coffee and wine. Multiple years of podcasting with coffee and wine. We get into the start of this. We're in the green room. Luke's going off on about like he's threatening Deadly Headley with strap-ons, and he's having a go at me for having red wine and coffee. But he's claiming now, all civil. Yeah, I'm all right. I've had a nice week. Go on, Luke. Carry on.
I have. I mean, I'm not the one drinking coffee and wine together. Right, those are two great passions of mine, but why you're having them?
It sort of feels like the gentleman's Jaeger bomb. Like, if we're going to put it, it's sort of like.
I mean, I'm not dropping one into other, you know.
No, but they don't necessarily have to go together. But just like, you know, when you've got like a stimulant and some alcohol, like, you know, there are worse combinations. There's better combinations, just to be clear. But
yeah. I mean, I don't. So do you like have your wine and then drink your coffee, or is it like?
Well, Luke, I find I've studied the sciences, and I find that coffee goes cold and wine doesn't really. So I tend to drink the coffee first while it's hot. Okay. It is, you know, it's the scientist's approach to coffee and wine. So I have the coffee, and then when I'm done with it, I'll move on to wine for the rest of the show. Thank you very much.
Do you have Gaviscon nearby just in case it goes? You know,
no. Simple answer, no.
Tits up might not actually be the problem, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you know, heartburn is, you know, you don't want heartburn, so.
That's true.
So, but yeah, I don't have heartburn, and that's why I'm good. So, yeah, good to be here and good to finally speak to Deadly. Funnily enough, I think it's coalesced just at the time you have actually entered the PCMR space, so I think that's fate, if anything. So.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Like I say, everyone, look upon the regular panel, because this is what you're in for. Deadly Headley, you were obviously here regularly for many months a while back when we did the Xbox Series podcast. Many moons ago, and we had some good times. We're going to have some more good times. It is fantastic to have you back sitting here with us. We're going to get into, obviously, a bit more depth on who you are and what you do in your gaming and all the rest of it. But first of all, let's just start simple. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right. It's been a while. It has been really nice to come back and hang out with you guys again. I'm really looking forward to getting into today's show. Yeah, I'm doing okay. There's a lot of IRL chaos. Some awesome chaos, some horrible chaos. The horrible chaos, possibly me having to find another job. I'm still in limbo with that, so that sucks. Unfortunately, is a common theme in all places, not just the gaming industry at the moment. It's kind of rough, but we're not going to talk about that because that sucks. The good news in my life is my partner and I are currently with child, so we are growing the Headley household, which I'm very, very happy about, very, very excited about. So
awesome, really
cool.
Congratulations.
That was what I was off doing, like after we broke from podcasting. It was just chipping away.
Yeah,
it wasn't. There was a bunch of other stuff too, but I've achieved some stuff since then, including making a human being, which is really nice. So yeah, they are due end of January. So my entire life is going to turn upside down.
Yes, indeed.
Then, but right now it's sort of mostly the right way up, I think, more or less.
Yeah,
more or less. I did join the PCMR crew, which is I think that might actually be the first time I've used that phrase.
Make it the last. Damn it, PC Master Race. Come on now. Let's do though, because that's more towards the end of the story that you're going to tell us now. So let's start from the beginning, right? Because various people around the channel are going to know who you are, obviously. Like, we did the Xbox Series podcast a lot. You've spoken here a lot. We know you and things like that. But there will be people that don't. And actually, I reckon there's even people here that I'm not sure we ever did this conversation properly with Luke either. So I reckon there's people here that will be interested in hearing from both of you. We're going to start with Deadly Headley. From the beginning, what got you into gaming in the first place? And then take that thread and follow it through all the way up to today.
Oh man. Okay, so I struggled to actually pin down like the very first game that I played. I remember gaming from a really early age on a Sega Mega Drive, and I remember playing Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember playing a Ghostbusters game, and I had brilliant fun with those. But they're quite distant memories, so they're a little bit hazy. My first sort of like real I think awakening to a video game system was when my dad got a PS1. That was a really exciting time. I remember really loving a game that Asa absolutely despises, being the first Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah.
There's also, okay. I know how you feel about stealth, and to be fair, like this game wasn't a big part of my childhood, but where did you stand on Metal Gear Solid 1? Were you always a stealth hater?
Metal Gear Solid 1, the first Metal Gear Solid game, is the game that turned me against it in the first place. I did play it from start to finish and enjoyed it while I was going through it, and then on reflection was like, I fucking hated that. And every game since has featured stealth.
Without intentionally trying to derail the conversation, I will say the chat that you had with ACG the other week about stealth and how far it has moved on, but also hasn't really moved that far on at all. It was a really interesting one. So yeah, if you haven't heard that chat, obviously after this show, not now, go and check that out. But yeah, where did I go from there? So I guess probably the thing that sort of makes gaming a little bit more relevant to me, certainly back in that period of time with the PS1, I remember my dad bringing home PlayStation magazines a lot, and with them would obviously come a demo disc, which is just free games for children to play, so that's awesome. And I had great fun with those, and obviously like picking up games that I was really excited about on the PS1 anyway. But the thing that really stood out to me with those magazines was actually the journalism side and the reporting side. Even if I wasn't like taking in entire articles, I was very much sort of cognizant of like video games in magazines and really loving that as a thing. I had a PS2 growing up. I remember that PS2 generation. I was actually fortunate enough as a kid to have PS2, the GameCube, and the original Xbox. Very, very fortunate to have all three systems, because I didn't since until like, well, now basically. I think from there, I was an Xbox player only for a very, very long time. Still predominantly today play on Xbox and PC with a little bit of PS5 mixed in. There's probably a whole bunch of other stuff like in between then and now, but like if I give you my life story of 30 something plus years, we'll be here a while.
No, that's fair. Let's do in that case, because I want to find out a little bit more about the kind of games that you would play today and things, but let's do the same question for Luke, so we'll get you both to the same point in time and then we'll find out. So Luke, where did you start?
I probably similar to Deadly Headley, actually. Yeah. So I think I played consoles before this, but the earliest memory I have of playing something specific was on PS1 when I got a PS1, and it was actually the 1997 classic Hercules game based on the famous Disney animated film. And I remember playing that and it was shit, by the way. It was terrible, really, really bad game.
I was going to say, this is going to be a unique answer forever. We're never going to ask anybody this question, and they're going to be like, oh, the animated Hercules game on the PlayStation 1 got me into video games. Just Luke.
Yep.
I do remember that game, though.
yeah. It's visually quite impressive, quite faithful to the movie. And it had these weird like 3D sections, I always remember. But I played that for hours, and I really enjoyed it. And then all I remember from there is like just playing lots of different stuff all the time. My dad was very handy with a soldering iron. So you know, my PlayStation had access to a wide bevy of games because my parents couldn't afford them. So so I played like a lot. I remember playing like weird games like Nightmare Creatures, which I was way too young for at the time, which was like a really crappy Silent Hill-esque ripoff, but it was quite freaky. And yeah, just kept doing that. I didn't have an N64, but I remember playing it a lot because a friend had it. So I would go around and play a lot of the classics like on that console. And then, I mean, the kind of the big like inflection point for me getting into like console game, like hardcore console gaming and stuff was probably the PS2, but more so the Xbox, because the Xbox really got me into obviously online play, which I'd done none of before that point, really. So, yeah, my dad one day just brought home an Xbox and a copy of Halo, and I was just like absolutely blown away. And it's still to this day, I think I'm perpetually chasing that high of playing Halo for the first time, really, and just being like absolutely overawed by what I was seeing and the story and how it felt and all that stuff. So, and then diving into the multiplayer and all that stuff. So, that's about it, really. Just continued from there, just snowballed from there until present day, really. You know, just love games.
That first Halo on the original Xbox was my sort of definitely an inflection point as well. I'd describe it. It just something just clicked, especially when Halo 2 was out. Online multiplayer was so much more accessible. Even then, like less accessible than it is now because we didn't have wireless connections back in those days.
Yeah,
But it was fantastic. It was such an amazing era to grow up in.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, the original Xbox holds a lot of fond memories for me, just in terms of like the you know, brute force, which I mention like all the time, right?
It's impossible that you mention it as often as you do.
Again, a shit game, but it's literally one of my favorite games of all time. I put maybe like, I don't know, 100 hours into that game. Blinks, the Time Sweeper, like it had this like, you know, collection, the original Xbox, of really like adventurous, you know, Microsoft were being like very adventurous with this stuff and like throwing money at it and trying to see what sticks in terms of, you know, game development. And in the process, they mostly made a load of duds, like games that were not commercially successful, but they're so memorable to this day, especially if you grew up with them. So I have a big fondness for Brute Force and Blinks of Time Sweeper and Crimson Skies, you know, Mech Assault, all that stuff. So.
So, all right then. So let's have a look at then. So Luke, you're mostly on PC. You've got your consoles as well. You have a little bit of everything. You play a bit of everything. Deadly Headley, you mentioned you've got recently a PC. You've been playing a lot of Xbox over the last number of years. You got a PlayStation 5 as well that you dabble in. This is kind of a difficult question because we all have fairly broad tasting games. But what sort of games do you like and play?
That's definitely changed over the years. So. I think I've always been a fan of shooters. I think obviously Halo cemented that one for sure. And I still do play a fair amount of them. Over the last, I'd say 10 years, I've gotten a lot more into Western RPGs and very much like them. I think actually Xbox as a platform has become quite a nice sort of RPG house. In a way, in terms of the type of content that we see on offer now from studios like Bethesda and Obsidian, etc. Yeah, I've been playing a lot more story-based stuff, a lot more single-player stuff. I used to love a live service game like Apex Legends. Put a hell of a lot of time into back when that first came out. But yeah, the single player stuff is so much more mellow these days. So yeah, play a lot of that. What have I been playing recently? Funnily enough, I actually jumped into Starfield again a little bit just to see what that was like on PC. Which is nice, very smooth. I'm going off track.
That's all good. So no, off track is good. So, but you mentioned the shooters then, and you mentioned like Halo as an inflection point, and you play a lot of the multiplayer and stuff. Are you still online competitive?
Not really. No, not really. Honestly, I think as kind of adult life has certainly got more busier, and it's going to get a hell of a lot more busy soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think single player has sort of taken a lot more of my free time up, which has been quite nice. I were we still podcasting when I finished Baldur's Gate 3? I don't think we were.
No, you were still waiting for you to finish Hellblade, I think. The first one.
I finished the first one, but I haven't finished the second.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
really
surprised that you finished the first one. I didn't expect that as an answer. I thought that would still be.
I finished a lot of games this year. I have actually finished a lot of games this year. Yeah, we'll get to that shortly, I'm sure.
We will. And we're going to talk about, obviously, the stuff that we have been playing this week. And there's been a lot of new releases and a lot going on. But same for you. So, Luke, I've had like months of asking you what you played every week. So if I were to try and like pin down what kind of game you like, I would struggle because it's fucking everything, right? You play a lot. But if you were to try and pin it down, what do you look for? What makes a good game? What gets you interested?
Yeah, I don't think it's really, it's not genre dependent for me. There are certain genres that I'm not, so like live service games generally I don't touch. Maybe fighting games generally I'm not like a huge fan of, although depends on the game. I think for me I'm just drawn to, I'm mostly drawn not to genre but to story. So something that has a strong narrative and strong characters it will usually get me in, even if it's perhaps mechanically uninteresting to me. Like, it doesn't matter to me. So a good example of that is like a game like 1000X Resist, right, which I've mentioned before, which is like not there's barely gameplay in that game at all, but the story and the characters are so strong that it's one of my when it came out, is one of my favorite games that year. I think I put it out second on my game of the year list. So I will generally I play like a lot in terms of varieties, but I think more than anything I'm just drawn to like strong story or interesting story. It doesn't have to be revelatory in any way. It just needs to have some hook that kind of my brain likes, like it releases that like dopamine kind of, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fair enough. So let's see how that ties in with what you've been playing this week. Get back on track to where we normally start our podcast, because there's been a bunch of games that have come out. You can't possibly have touched all of them because there's so many this week, but maybe you've gone completely off and just played something from years gone by. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been playing quite a lot actually. So I just finished, I say just a couple of days ago, I finished MGS Delta.
Oh dear, are you okay?
13, 14. I'm great. I'm sad that it's over. But apart from that, I mean, MGS3, I love that game, and I was really eager to go back to it anyway. And so obviously the remake is a great jumping in point for that, because it is essential. It is just MGS3, but with modern visuals. There are some like quality of life updates, and there's a new viewpoint, like a over the shoulder third person viewpoint, which obviously wasn't in the original game. But apart from that, it's all MGS3, warts and all, basically. And I loved it again. Brilliant. It's a brilliant game. Yeah.
So did you find obviously it's a retelling of a story that you already know, and it's quite a story heavy game. Yeah. Did that not like take away from it, knowing what's going to happen next the whole way through, or was it just good to see it again?
No, I mean, I think if I'd have played it recently, maybe it would have done, right? Because, it's all like every element then is fresh. But apart from like the huge story beats and stuff, I'd, forgot a lot of this. This is like 20 years ago, right? So, So it was nice to be like, oh yeah, I remember this bit, and then you, but and it's always that case with remakes. You see it and this is how it looks in your mind's eye. Then you look back and you're like, wow, that looks dreadful. That looks absolutely awful. So, and I just think like the quality of the visuals here is just so impressive. Like particularly the character models, like it's pretty insane seeing like, Snake and the boss, Volgin as well, and a couple of other characters in this kind of fidelity. It's really remarkable. And then I also forgot how, I don't know why I forgot about this, but I forgot how fucking goofy this story is. Like how many weird Kojima things are in it. And there's all like that's his style, but this one in particular has a lot of like, oh yeah, that was really weird. That was a really strange thing that just happened on screen.
With that though, like this is obviously Konami have done this without Kojima's involvement. Obviously, he's very involved because he did the original game, and it's a remake, right? So it's a direct retelling of his work with his quirks and all the rest of it. What do you want to see Konami do with Metal Gear as an IP next?
I'm happy for them to remake it. I don't want them to make a Metal Gear game by themselves because I don't think you can make those without Kojima. He is inexorably tied to that franchise. He is the creator, and his thumbprints are across everything in those games, and you can't replicate that. So, but remakes, I mean, remake everything because I'd be well up for that. I think it's more difficult to remake some of the classic ones because it would require a lot of work. This one's like in that middle ground of, I'm sure this was a lot of work, but the PS2 game plays very well still. And, they've changed perspective. You can actually go to the classic PS2 perspective as well if you want. But, that kind of just adds to the game. Whereas, if you went back to like MGS1, MGS2, I feel like you'd have to almost do like a Resi 2 type remake potentially where you're effectively making a new game. Yeah. So
what you said there, though, so you wouldn't necessarily want them to make a fresh Metal Gear game without Kojima. Do you feel the same about Silent Hill F? Or are you looking forward to that one?
Well, in what sense? Because
he's not involved, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't in the originals.
Oh, was he not? Okay, I'm just an idiot.
No. He was going to make Silent Hills, which was PT.
That's where I'm getting messed up.
Yeah. But no. So, like, go ahead and make all the Silent Hills you want.
How embarrassing for me, right? Deadly Headley, Metal Gear Solid. Have you played that? Do you have any interest in playing that? Do you have any questions?
I really enjoyed Snake Eater. I remember that being I think it was the only one that I actually bought out of the series back on the PS2. I really enjoyed it. What did you play it on?
I played it on PC.
Okay, nice, cool. Because I saw the performance on console seems to be a bit rough, apparently. But how was your experience on PC generally in terms of performance? Was it okay?
Yeah, there's some, like, it's not a perfect PC port by any means. There are some issues, some bigger issues from me than there would be for other people. So
yeah,
I think it's a UE5 game, and performance is actually great. It doesn't stutter at all, which is fantastic. I think part of that is because they're still, it's the bones of the PS2 game are still there in that, if people remember, you start off in an environment and then you go maybe like 20 meters and then there's a loading screen to go into the next part of the jungle or whatever. So that actually is very conducive to UE5 not stuttering because you're not actually traveling very far. So that was quite nice.
Traversals.
Yeah, there's no traversal stutter. Yeah. There's nothing like it does a load shaders while it's loaded and then off you go. So that was really good. It's visually very impressive. It's got a 60 FPS cap on PC at the moment, which is very bizarre. I know that's not an issue for some people, but I've got PCs that can do more than that. So I like to, even if it's with frame gen, I like to, have a bit of a smoother perceived motion. And the HDR is just okay, which, as people know, that's more of a big deal for me, because I really like good HDR. But generally, it runs well. I modded it slightly to introduce hardware ray tracing as well.
Nice.
And what else did I do? Oh yeah, and I used DLSS 4 overlaid on it. It doesn't have that, so and it looks great. Ran well on PC. If they patch it up and introduce a few more features, it'd be decent.
Nice. I feel like I might be able to learn some stuff from you because I still feel like I'm very much paddling in the shallow end for PC at the moment, which is fine.
Yeah. It's a process.
I really like using mine. It's great, but I haven't delved deeper. I still haven't tried modding, even though Tony sent me some stuff that I could mod Red Dead Redemption 2 with, but I'm scared of breaking stuff, and that's not really the mentality to have when you have a PC. Is that you kind of have to?
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, if you break the game, you just uninstall it.
Yeah,
just reinstall it. Like it's if it goes really bad,
like a long-winded undo button.
Tell me. Right, so now that Luke has solved forever, or Konami have solved forever the issues with Unreal Engine 5 starter, right? Just make every game within a PlayStation 2 shoebox and we're away. That's brilliant. Deadly Headley.
It's not brilliant.
Well, it's not ideal for like The Witcher 4 if they need to have everything take place in little tiny environments, but we're getting there. We're making progress. You've got a PC now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with it? What is it? How long you had it? What's going on? Why have you got a PC? You love your Xbox.
Oh, okay. So, actually, the reason why I got a PC was because I needed a work machine that I could actually call my own. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I started creating YouTube content primarily around stuff to do with Xbox. Probably 2 or just over 2 years ago now, actually. And I brazenly and like with permission was using my work Mac to do so, but sort of started feeling like I needed to get my own piece of kit to work on because channel was actually growing quite nicely. And to be honest, I just wanted a little bit more ownership and control over my equipment because the only other computer that I had that I could call my own was a 2012 MacBook Pro, which wasn't going to keep up with anything that I would do professionally. I am a graphic designer, can animate, do video editing, etc. So it was one of those things where I just thought if I get a nice powerful machine that is going to let me make content, play games on, and see me through the next 10 years to basically make whatever I needed, play whatever I wanted on it, we'd have a good time with it. So that was the reason for building it. I built it back in May, like end of April, early May, I think. And I bought parts, like I sort of bought each part as and when I could between sort of start of January and May sort of time. So I built it fairly quickly, to be fair. We've gone with a 9900X CPU, a RTX 5080 with 32 gig of DDR5 is the latest one, is it? Is it DDR5 Yeah, runs very, very nicely. Very, very happy with it. I'm also using a ultra wide OLED monitor, which is just doing all the good work and carrying the PC beautifully as well.
So you built it yourself?
Yes, with the help of my cousin, I shot and edited a build video, but in true classic Deadly Headley fashion. I have been too busy to actually make the thing. So sorry about that. But I will do. I might have a lot more time on my hands fairly soon, so we can work on that then.
And do you recommend it to people that are scared of building their own?
Yeah. So I really enjoyed researching the parts, understanding what I was spending my money on and why, and really sort of diving deep into performance comparisons for the parts that I was buying, primarily the CPU and the GPU, I felt confident that I was building a machine that was right for me and was going to give me the longevity that I also wanted out of my system as well. I love playing games on it. I really enjoy how well it sort of fits into the Xbox ecosystem and that sort of wider kind of platform vision that Microsoft has going on for it. It does in many ways feel like an extension of the ecosystem, but I think probably an issue that many console users would flag is that you can't play all of the games that you own digitally on Xbox. You can't play all of them on PC, but any of the Play Anywhere stuff you can. Anything that comes out on Game Pass is obviously both PC and Xbox as well. I still use my Series X, so that lives in my living room downstairs. This PC is in my office up here. And it's if I'm playing a game that is on both PC and Xbox, and obviously it's all being played through the Xbox ecosystem, being able to jump between platforms is really nice and really smooth and really easy. So I like that about it a lot. It gives me more options to play stuff natively, because before that, the only other option that I had was cloud, which is all right for certain games, but also horrible for some games as well. Especially if you are, you're keen on playing shooters, and obviously the fidelity and performance that I'm getting out of my PC just vastly outstrips anything else as well.
Quickly, Pete, thank you very much for the super chat. Always appreciated. He says, great to see these three together, and good that it will be regular. Yes, it will. This is going to be regular. We will still, obviously, over the last month, I've had a couple of guests as well. I do still plan to have the occasional guest, but not every week. Just when it makes sense, when it fits, we'll bring someone along to have a little conversation. But yeah, this is the regular plan for as long as it makes sense for everybody. One question so far, but it's the most important one. Is it really? We'll get to the questions at the end. Don't you worry. Deadly Headley. So we mentioned the PC then, but we didn't mention any games that you've been playing this week. It can be on the PC, it can be on the console. Just what have you been up to?
So this week, I have played a lot of Helldivers 2, primarily almost entirely on PC, actually. I did buy it on Xbox. I have got it on Xbox. It was really sad to see that there is no cross progression on
Can I ask
Xbox at the moment.
Why did you buy it on Xbox?
Yeah. Because first of all, I was hoping that I would be able to log into my account and sort of enjoy the cross progression side, but also actually want to be able to play that in my living room as well. So when my partner and I are at home, we'll quite often just hang out in the living room. We might do our own thing. She might read. She might be playing on her Switch. I might be playing on the Xbox or whatever. And just, I guess, being able to play games in the living room, I still get to be in the company of my partner and soon my kid as well. And that's part of the reason why I still really like console gaming, because you're in an environment that is somewhat more social, even if the activity itself isn't always social. If you're sharing that space with people, it's very different to kind of going up a floor and shutting the door like I have done to go on this podcast. I don't always like being at a desk. That was actually one of the main things that really put me off of PC. But I have a really comfy chair that I can tilt back, and I've got one of those Volari pillow things that are quite nice for posture. You sort of like you rest your controller on it. It's really comfortable, actually. I'd recommend one if anyone listening or watching gets like neck pain, shoulder pain, that sort of stuff. It's very, very comfortable. So yeah, I bought Helldivers 2 on Xbox. Actually hoping that there would be a bit of cross progression. I can still join friends that I have on Xbox. You're not necessarily gatekept from playing with anyone else if you're a low rank on Helldivers 2, which is quite nice. The only thing that you will miss out on, obviously, is stratagems and things like that, and weapons that you would unlock through natural progression. Hopefully, Arrowhead does actually work out a way of linking accounts. That would be really nice to see, because this was actually a point that I raised on Xbox Series show last week. A lot of Xbox console players might be quite tempted by the Xbox ROG Ally. As we know, it's technically a PC handheld rather than like a traditional console. So it's going to use the Steam version of Helldivers 2 if you want to play it there. Otherwise, you're playing remotely with Helldivers 2 via your Xbox console. So not only are you buying Helldivers 2 twice, which if you're okay with it, that's fine. I already own it on Steam, so that's nice and easy for me anyway. But you won't be able to pick up your handheld and continue unlocking the same stuff or the same path that you were on the PC version or the Xbox version or wherever you started. So that's a bit of a shame. I hope that a fix does come for that.
The only stratagems that I need are minefields. As long as I can lay my minefields, then everybody playing has a good time. But how do you find, like, generally as a game and a thing that you're going back to? Obviously, you're playing it a bit, so you are going back to it. How do you find Helldivers 2?
I like it a lot. So it was one of the first games that I bought actually just before I'd built my PC. I'd only played it solo until it came out on Xbox, and then I actually started playing with one of my best friends who is on console. And I found Helldivers so much more fun. I've had a much better time with it when I'm playing it with other people, even though the solo queuing is quite enjoyable. It elevates significantly as a social experience. As a multiplayer game, I like it a lot. I think it's really fun. It's really goofy. It's got that sort of kind of takes itself really seriously, but in quite a sort of sarcastic and a like overly dramatic sort of way, which makes it quite funny. It's a good time. I think it's a really good game. Definitely a good one for the Xbox audience as well. With it being sort of your typical kind of I don't know how true this is anymore, but it was always considered like a shooter box, wasn't it? And I'm like, if people like me are still using it, people who grew up liking shooters and playing most of them on Xbox, then yeah, it's up their street for sure. I've played a bunch of other stuff as well. Do you want to keep going?
Definitely do.
I will spend less time on them. So I will rattle these off. Gears Reloaded. I've been playing over the last few days with the same mate that I've been playing Helldivers 2 with, so that's been really fun. I played an hour of Hollow Knight Silksong today, which I'm sure we'll talk about later because it's on the thumbnail.
No, we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna take that.
Yeah.
So
all right. Fine.
Gears Reloaded, we talked about a little bit last week, and people haven't got. I mean, I'm not sure there's that much you can say about that. Like, it's more Gears of War, isn't it? It's brilliant. We love it, and all the rest of it. But Hollow Knight Silksong, right?
The only thing I will say, it looks really nice. It's a little bit buggy. But
buggy
it
how?
looks good.
Why is it buggy?
I don't know. There was one yesterday. There's sections in the game where like it will split up the party of 4, and you sort of each player, because obviously it's only a 2-player game, but there are 4 people in the crew for most of the game. So it will divert each player down one path, and then it will take one AI with them, usually like Baird or Cole. And the playthrough that we're on at the moment, there was a section where I was left without an AI, and my friend had 2 the whole time. I was
maybe
getting
that was
down a lot.
Assessment of your friend's skills. Maybe the game was watching and was like, actually, you probably need to.
The thing that really sucked was that he had the high ground and I didn't. So it was one of those things where I was almost like bait is probably the best way of putting it. So there was that. But yeah, it's Gears of War. It's a good game. It's really fun co-op, and it's like riding a bike if you've not been on it in a while. It's a nice nostalgia trip.
So, Silksong. So I have this weird situation where you look on the internet and Hollow Knight is massively popular, and there's been this really strong demand for Silksong all the time, everywhere. But everybody that I ask about it doesn't actually like Hollow Knight. You're the exception. Yes, you like Hollow Knight.
I've never played it before.
I'm gonna find someone.
I played an hour today.
Right. How's this hour been?
Good. Yeah, I liked it. So having not played the original, I don't know how difficult it gets. I got the impression very quickly that like it is sort of deceptively challenging. Like it looks fairly cutesy, but you take damage pretty quickly. You only have like a limited number of hits you can survive before you've got to return to a rest point. Anything that you've collected during the time that you've been alive for and then die, you lose. So it's a little bit Souls-like in nature, I believe. There is a game I would compare it to that I did finish this year. I actually reviewed this for Xbox Era, which was Tales of Iron 2.
I like the look of that. I haven't played it yet. But
I really, really liked that game. I enjoyed that a lot. It's early, so I'm not. I don't mean to say this as if I am casting judgment, but I will say I enjoyed the first hour of Tales of Iron 2 more than I enjoyed the first hour of Hollow Knight. But it's still early days for Hollow Knight, and I'm very curious as to why this has popped off like crazy. Not because I don't think it shouldn't have done. It just, I was clearly outside of, like yourself, outside of that bubble and not really knowing why necessarily it's been such a big deal. Luke, do you know anything about it? Or have you got any like kinship with it at all?
Yeah, I finished the first game. Not when it came out, maybe a year later. And I love the first game. It's a terrific game.
last week you said he hated it.
Yeah, said I hated it. Yeah, why are you always lying? What are you always lying for?
So you didn't show up last week. There was no show last week, was there?
Yeah. So like it's you know, I mean, I've been looking forwards to the second game for quite some time. I've mentioned this before, but I think like, you know, like the first game came out at a time where everything was chasing like roguelite stuff, and Hollow Knight's not a roguelite; it's a Metroidvania, and there's kind of like a dearth of like good Metroidvanias at the time, and that one was just, you know, a really, really, really good one, because it has like this very, you know, fantastic, like this really good art style, very engaging gameplay, and great music. You know, a real sense of like character and atmosphere. Like that's what the first game does very well, and it's very challenging. Like it can be really difficult. The original, and I've heard Silksong is the same in that respect, right? Like very tough in some places. So yeah, it was like this interesting like build of hype around it, where when it released, it did like well sales wise. It sold like 1 million, 2 million, something like that. And then I think, you know, various YouTube channels started doing let's plays of it and Twitch and all that stuff, and it kind of just got this word of mouth. And then it went from 2 million sales, I think, to now, which is over 20 million. And over time, you know, the hype then just for the sequel has been really high. And obviously, don't forget with the first game as well, like this game, it was very easy to pull people into it because they only priced it at like 15 quid or something, you know, 16, 17 pounds. So people are just going to jump on that straight away, right? So especially if they hear the game is good and it's got a lot of content, which it does. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing the second one. I played the Silksong very briefly for like 20 minutes when it came out, just to be like, oh yeah, okay, let's you know, have a see at it. And then I put it down because I need to.
Do you hate Hollow Knight?
I hate it. Yeah, I don't like it. I need to, like, I'm playing Cronos at the minute and Shinobi, and like 2 games maximum I can play at the same time. So once I've done those 2, then I'll probably move on to Hollow Knight. But it will depend because it's quite a commitment just because it's Metroidvania, so it does actually require some attention. And also, I don't know if I'm in the mood to get like absolutely battered, which is something that will definitely happen in Silksong. So,
tell me, because you played the first one, I played the first one a little bit and I fell off of it. I didn't really enjoy it, right? But I get people love it. And actually, complete aside, there's a little thing going around on the social medias at the moment that you can take as an inspirational poster, where the first trailer of the first game came out ahead of anybody knowing what it was, and someone was saying on Reddit like, "Oh, this is my friend's game, right? He quit his full-time job to do this, and here's the first trailer for it." And the Reddit responses were slating it like, "Oh, it looks shit. It's terrible. We've got enough games that look like that." Blah 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 blah. So for it to then go on to have the success that it had is like a nice little story. If people are doubting the things that you're doing as an inspirational poster, stick it up there. You'll have Reddit on your wall. It'll be very embarrassing for you. But you know, it's there and it happened. But the first game, I fell off of it. Deadly Headley hasn't played it, but when you start the second one, which is fresher in my memory because I just had a little dabble with it today, you have a very limited kind of move set. Does that grow? Obviously, be a Metroidvania, I'd assume that you get a lot more dynamic as you go through, or
yeah, definitely.
So an advanced Hollow Knight towards like the end of the game, what does it feel like in terms of other games? What does it play like?
I don't really know. It's not. It's hard to answer that question because it still plays like Hollow Knight. It doesn't really play like other games. It kind of it's a Metroidvania, so it feels the same as it did at the start, except you're much more powerful and quicker, and you've got more abilities. Basically, you feel like more in control, I guess, of everything that's going on in terms of enemies and such. From just playing the first little bit of Silksong here, you're already faster and stronger than you were at the start of Hollow Knight. Because Hornet is a very different character, and they've quite like.
Wait a minute, is this not the same Hollow Knight? Is it a different guy?
It's a girl, Asa.
Oh shit! I looked and I didn't
Hornet.
see. Okay.
Yeah. So, God. So Hornet's a different character.
Thing all over again.
I don't know why I come on. Honestly, it's pointless.
What an embarrassing show.
Like this one, I suspect the upgrade path will be like probably greater than that of Hollow Knight again, because Hornet has various places she can go in terms of her abilities, right? I think this will feel quite different by the end of the game than it does at the start.
Okay, fair dude. Shinobi. So that's enough Hollow Knight, right? Because that's like we talked about it a little bit. We played it a little bit. I think when you've gone back to it and actually got through a bit more of it, and when Deadly Headley's gone through a bit more of it, we can talk about it again with a bit more depth. For now, that's enough. So let's talk about the ones that you have actually played. You mentioned Cronos, you mentioned Shinobi. Let's start with Shinobi, because FTW's been raving about it in Discord, and he's convinced a few other people to get on board as well. And he's so loud about it that I'm tempted to try and get it as soon as I can, because it sounds really good. Is it really good? Does it have Luke's seal of approval?
It does, yeah. It's very good. It's surprisingly good, because I'm not like a Shinobi fan generally. Like I don't have any real history of that franchise, so I was a bit like, but Lizard Cube made it, and they made the Streets of Rage 4, and it was again one of those. It wasn't really like, it was on my radar a little because I'd seen the trailers, but I played the demo. And once I played the demo, I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is really, really good. This is kind of like something I'm looking for at the minute. So I bought it, and I think I'm maybe 5 hours into it, and it's terrific. It's absolutely terrific. It's the art style is spectacular, obviously, and there's a lot of variety to the environments in this game, and the kind of just general action platforming is really, really high quality. It reminds me a bit in the way it moves sometimes. It's more graceful than the game I'm going to refer it to, but if anybody's played Katana Zero, like, I feel like they looked at something like Katana Zero and went, that's kind of the feel we want to go for with this one. So yeah, it's really good. You're constantly getting new abilities, new enemies are being introduced. It's difficult, but without being punishingly so, I would say. It feels like quite well balanced. And yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good.
It's got Luke's seal of approval as well, but that means nothing. But FTW seal of approval means that I have to get it soon. Deadly Headley, have you had a look at Shinobi? Have you played the demo? Are you interested in it in general?
I haven't. It is something I'd like to give a go. I'm struggling to keep up with the current number of games that are available to us. I've heard good things. It's not typically the type of game that I pick up. To be fair, neither is Hollow Knight. But I'm gonna keep going with that. I guess it's a maybe time permitting. To be fair,
let's pull back on the difficulty, because you mentioned there, Luke, that it's challenging but feels fair. Stephen Southwick is asking directly, like, if it's difficult, because the first one did have a reputation as being pretty brutal. And my own experience of Shinobi, I played it when I was very small and didn't get very far at all because it is difficult, and I was a stupid child that didn't know what I was doing. So I don't think I really got through like the first couple of levels. But some people have great memories of that game and played it through. I don't know what you can say on this one, but difficulty-wise, I mean, are you getting stuck like a Souls game and having to go through, get boss patterns and work to go through, or is it kind of a straight line of progression? Like, where are you with it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels there are points that are challenging, but not like, I don't feel like, oh man, this is like really, really tough. There was a boss I was against, I think yesterday or the day before, that was actually a really simple boss, but for some reason my brain couldn't comprehend what you're supposed to. Well, it could comprehend what you're supposed to do, but I didn't have the reflexive action to be able to do it. So I got stuck on that for like maybe 10 attempts as an example. But it doesn't. Like I said, if you feel quite powerful in it, and your toolbox of skills and such feels pretty robust. So I haven't at the minute faced something that I'm like, okay, this is like really ratcheted up the difficulty level suddenly. So I don't know if the rest of the game is like, and I'm sure that it's going to be boss fights that I'm going to be tearing my hair out over, but for example, if anybody's played Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which came out recently as well, I've only played the demo for that, but I found that demo pretty challenging, and that was just the demo. Whereas this is much more manageable. It just feels like you're more powerful in this.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to Cronos as well, because that's another one that came out yesterday, I think. The 6th, isn't it? Yeah, so it came out yesterday. You've already dived into it. It's Bloober's horror game that people seem to actually kind of be in love with. It sounds like it's doing everything that it sets out to do pretty well. How much have you played of it, and how are you finding it?
Yeah, I've played about 5 hours of this since yesterday, so that's quite a lot for me. And I have been pleasantly surprised by how good it is. Because it's Bloober, right? And yes, they made Silent Hill 2 remake, which was phenomenal. But this was, this is their first original IP since doing that game. So I was a bit like, don't know. And the trailers look promising and stuff. But you just don't know until you get it in hand. And so far, I mean, it could all go wrong, because I remember playing the medium and thinking that this was pretty decent until the last third. But so far, it's really good. It's I mean, people have seen the game, like, it's a survival horror game, right? And it's kind of this mix of Dead Space, maybe it's got some like Returnal vibes to it, not in gameplay, but just in terms of character and setting and such. And the one thing I have found is it really pushes on the survival bit of survival horror, because the resource economy in this game is super stingy. They give you they do not give you much, like in terms of ammo or health is actually not too stingy, but ammo in particular is like such a scarce resource. And they have like 2 mechanics that then kind of interface with that resource management that makes it quite difficult at times. One is that you get like this. You have like this gun as the traveler, like a pistol, and it's a bit like the. It looks a bit like the RoboCop pistol, but you can just press right trigger, right, and you can fire, or you can charge each shot, and no matter what you do, you use one bullet, right? So if you charge a shot, you're still using one bullet. But it's really, really recommended that you charge your shots, because the enemies that you face, they're called orphans. The enemies you face are very powerful, and they are very aggressive, and they're a bit spongy. Like, they're not super spongy, but they are a bit spongy. But the problem is, obviously, when you're charging a shot, that takes time. So you have to put yourself in like good positions to be able to hit these shots. And even then, it might take like 3 bullets. 3 bullets in this game is like an entire clip in another game. Like it's like a lot of ammo.
It's like it's not super clear in the trailer, but how do you? Stupid question, but how do you aim? Like, what are the odds of actually hitting your target? Is it free aim?
It's just. It's free aim. It's just over the shoulder. Yeah, free aim. Except you've got quite a lot of sway on your gun as well, on the crosshair, so you can miss these shots quite easily. Particularly, there's when you're panicking and then you've got enemies charging towards you and you're charging your bullet. So every shot really does count in the game. And then
what are your options besides shooting them then? So when you run out of ammo and there's enemies right there, what do you do?
You can melee and you can stomp like you can in Dead Space, right? I don't know why the stomp is in the game, because so far there's no point to stomping anything. I guess maybe if you could shoot something's leg off, but I haven't seen that yet. And the melee does do damage, but invariably it does very low amounts of damage, so it's a last resort. But yeah, so I mean, that mechanic, and then it has this, which I'm sure other people have seen, this merge mechanic. So the enemies in this game can merge with each other, or rather, if you down an enemy, it remains there. And if another enemy comes into that environment, it will make a beeline for its dead comrade, right? And it will like have this merging animation. And if you don't interrupt that, they fuse together and make a super powerful version of that particular enemy. So it takes more bullets to drop down than it did before, and it does more damage. And it usually has like a longer range for its attacks. So you get another resource, which is to stop that, you can burn corpses, but you only have a limited resource of that as well. So you're kind of like always trying to manage, like, do I have enough ammo? And if I've got enough ammo, like I've only got 2, flamethrower, like droppable flamethrowers here. So like, do I want to drop one here so that if I backtrack to this area and something comes out, it doesn't merge? And like, there's all this stuff going on, which is like very interesting mechanically, because it's away from just the normal inventory management stuff that you get in survival horrors. So I think, it's like really interesting stuff. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. The story is genuinely very, very, very cool. It doesn't give you much context for what you're doing. Like, it's lots of environmental storytelling, and it gives you the setup, and then there's a lot of unanswered questions, which I'm sure will be answered, as to who you are, why exactly you're doing what you're doing. And it's got this like this communist, like Polish aesthetic to it, and time period. It's a cool game, man. Cool. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Cronos in chat saying that there's been talk of performance issues on it. I'm assuming you're playing on PC. You're a performance sensitive fella. How are you finding it?
It's not been too bad so far, but I will preface that by saying that, one, I'm using frame gen, so in terms of perception, it's probably looking like it runs better than it does. There are stutters because it's a UE5 game and it's Bloober. It's the same as Silent Hill 2 Remake for its stutters so far. It's maybe a little better than that game was, actually, from memory, because Silent Hill 2 really did stutter a lot. But it's the only thing I would say about it, it's very demanding on non-frame gen settings for how it looks visually. And it looks really nice visually, but I wouldn't say it looks as good as like Silent Hill 2. remake did, which I thought was one of the best looking games last year. So it's fine so far in terms of performance. Nothing so bad that it, I'm like, okay, I can't play this. The stutter stuff I just have to deal with. I'm very sensitive to that anyway, but it's fine.
Fair. Deadly Headley, I know you haven't played this one yet. Do you typically like horror games? Have you got any questions for Luke on this one?
I'm going to answer the first part of that question first. I would like to get into more horror games. I don't dislike horror games. I don't go out of my way to play them. There's a couple that I have put into my Steam library that I'm quite excited about playing. Condemned is one of them. That's a throwback I really want to go back to. The Mortuary Assistant, I actually think I'm going to stream in October and possibly do some sort of fundraising to go with it. I'm not looking forward to playing that. I think that's going to really shit me up. It's so like bit hit and miss with horror games. I don't dislike them. I just don't go out of my way to play them. Questions about Cronos. Yeah, I'm quite interested in. I know you've talked about the survival mechanics. How does that feel having that horror survival mix? Is there anything else that I guess same question as with something like Shinobi or Hollow Knight? Is there anything else that you would compare Cronos to, both in terms of its survival elements and sort of level of challenge versus I know you've said sort of Dead Space is probably what you compare it to in terms of environmental design.
No, I mean, I think it's it's like other survival horror games in the like a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill or a Dead Space. There's a lot of Dead Space influence in it, just in terms of the character the character design, and the enemies are a bit necromorphy, I guess. I think what it does differently than those games is those games often are about some of the things I've just mentioned. So resource management in particular, making sure you've got enough equipment for the situation, and the perfect ones are where you always feel on the edge of being in control. So where you feel like, okay, I've got enough stuff here, and then the game chucks something and it says, no, you don't. Or maybe it says you do, but you've only got enough for this bit. Then you're on your own for the next bit. You've got to find stuff. Dead Space does that incredibly well. For example, this game, it feels like you're never in control of that. It feels like it's like, okay, you might have enough. Like I went into a boss fight and I felt really big about myself. I was like, I've got a shotgun. I've got like 6 bullets here. I've got like 12 bullets for my handgun. I've got I've got 1 torch for corpses. I've got like 2 healing kits. And I got to the end of it. I had no bullets for anything left. So I was like, okay, this is going to be like really bad now if I encounter enemies. Luckily, I didn't after I went, and the ones that I did, I ran from. But
but if you went in with like half of that, there's no way you're getting out of it, basically.
Yeah, there's no way. I remember reading, I think Easy Allies in their preview played the bit that I've just played, and I remember Bloodworth from Easy Allies, I think he said he didn't finish this bit because he got to the boss and he had like 2 bullets. And like trying to defeat this boss without like bullets is almost impossible. Like you need to be able to fire something. So I guess like I said, it does the things that other survival horror games do, but it's way stingier with its resource economy, so it puts you more on edge. And also it has these mechanics of the bullet charging, which is quite fundamental, and the merge stuff, which I haven't really seen any other survival horror games do like this. So it all just adds up to an experience where you don't feel like you're in control at all at any point, and that's pretty horrific.
Has it so far given you any of those kind of Resident Evil experiences where you're walking along and suddenly it gives you like 2 grenades and a health pack and you're about to get fucked up?
No, it has a similar thing, but it doesn't give you stuff. Its thing is you'll walk into a room and you'll look around and there'll be barrels explosive barrels in places, and you're like, right, okay, like they're gonna spawn, like enemies are gonna spawn here, and they've put these barrels in place so like you can try and be smart with your ammunition basically, and like lure them around the maze to this area and blow them up, and you know you only have to spend one bullet doing that. So yeah, it doesn't do any of that stuff. But again, it'd be too out of character for giving you stuff in this game. Like, you know, like I defeated the boss and I spent all that, and it gave me like there's save areas, right? And you can go and buy stuff in these areas, like bullets and such. And the currency is called energy, and the boss drops like 1,000 energy, which is just like that's enough for about 5 bullets in a med pack. So I was like, well, I was like even the rewards here aren't like putting me in a like position to compensate me for all the hell I've just had to do and all the ammunition I've just wasted. So yeah,
I like that. I think. Did you play Stalker 2? Yeah. I'm not expecting it to be sort of this same type. Same. I'm not expecting it to be the same sort of type of experience as Stalker 2, but I know like with that, if you go out and you're not prepared enough, like you've either got to like die and go back a save, or you've got to try and fix your shit up before you try whatever it is you set yourself out to go and do. Basically, yeah, 100%. Way more unforgiving by the sounds of things, which I quite like about Stalker 2. It put me on edge the whole time, but in a way that I actually found quite addictive. So I think Cronos might be up my street.
Yeah, this won't be for everybody because like
I'm not expecting it to.
Yeah, if you're into that like that masochism of like, you know, being absolutely like terrified. The thing is, like the game, like it's got a fantastic atmosphere, but it's not like I haven't found it scary as such. Like, you know, like I mean, if you play Silent Hill 2 as a kid, right, that's terrifying. That game, like the atmosphere and the enemies and stuff are just very, very unnerving. It's not the survival horror action element of it. This game's kind of the opposite, where I'm not really, you know, they've not really gone for the terror in terms of like, oh, look at these monsters, or like, you know, you don't know what's around the corner. It's like, no, here are the monsters, and you're in this environment. The thing you should be afraid of is running out of bullets, basically. Yeah. Like that's the thing. That's the real fear in this game. So I think it's an interesting track that they've taken, but I'm digging it a lot.
Cool.
Let's do then. Because you mentioned there, like, the boss room filled with explosive barrels. And that made me think, James Bond. The main takeaway from the state of play was there was a lot of explosive barrels. But let's talk about that, right? So they showed us half an hour. And this is onto the topics now. We'll bust through these to get to the questions, because I think we've got a few waiting. They showed us half an hour of James Bond in state of play. It's coming out March 27th next year. I am going to not say anything about it. I'm going to go straight to Deadly Headley. You've seen the state of play?
I didn't see the state of play. I watched Xbox Series preview of it. That's the only preview thing I have seen. I was quite excited about this when it was announced. I really like Hitman. I'm really excited to see what IOI can do with James Bond IP. It looked very Hitman-y. It also looked like very, very stylized, which I liked. So far I'm happy with what I've seen. I should go and watch the state of play, because that's like a half-hour, like proper deep dive, isn't it?
To be honest, I wouldn't recommend watching it particularly. If you've seen enough, if you have a taste for the game, then I'd never recommend going and watching more than you want to consume with these things.
Fair enough.
But so, Luke, where are you with James Bond so far?
So I really like the look of this, actually. I had in my head, I had an image of this being Hitman / Uncharted, and that's exactly what this 30-minute gameplay demo was. Mm-hmm. And that very is much, absolutely A-okay for me, because that's pretty much what I wanted. I didn't want too much Hitman in this. Like I wanted enough, and they show you enough, because it's not as like open form in terms of mission design as Hitman. Like you've got very set story objectives, and there are different ways to do them, but it's not like Hitman where, you know, there's dozens of systems interacting and you can kind of accomplish it in many, many different ways. It's not like that, because Bond isn't like that. And then like something happens in the mission, and then it breaks out into, you know, Uncharted 5, basically, in terms of big set piece stuff. So I kind of like, my grin kind of got progressively bigger as the demo was going along, especially towards the end, where like there's a falling out of the plane and all that stuff. I'd like the look of the melee combat in this as well, because Bond is like, you know, he's skilled, but he's brawly. He's not, he's kind of always in the moment and like thinking about what's next, like what can I do next? Like I need to, you know, try and adjust on the fly. And I feel like they've captured that in the gameplay very well in terms of melee combat and the environmental interaction, and how you can like grab enemies and throw them off things, and like, you know, the bit at the end where he like runs the guy off the stairs and like lands on him, like stuff like that's really cool. I thought visually it was super impressive. I was really quite impressed with it. Apart from, I mean, there's a couple of things. The chromatic aberration is way, way too much in this. Like it needs to be turned way down, off really, but it's like really bad. And then the other thing, and I think this is the thing that was detrimental to the whole thing, is just the performance level of this build by the time it gets to the end is atrocious. Like it's really, really bad.
A lot of like screen tearing and stuttering. Just
there's like huge frame dips on the plane in particular, and you can see it's like it's probably CPU driven because there's so much physics going on at the time. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going across the screen, and I'm like, I think it's noble in a way that they being honest about like, and this is an old build, I'm assuming, but you know, like at least they're showing real you can tell it's real because it runs like shit in a lot of it. It's like it runs awfully. So I'm kind of glad that they're being so open about it, because at least then you can look at it and go, well, visually, like this is how it should look, unless they have to degrade it on consoles to get it to run better. But anyway, so yeah, that was the main thing that was like, oh, that's not good. But you know, it doesn't release till the end of March, so I'm not too concerned. And I'll be playing it on PC anyway, so I'm not really that concerned about that element. Particularly when the Glacier engine is generally very good and has really good performance. Obviously here they're doing way, way more than they were doing in Hitman. But I'm confident in it. I think it looks really good. I think it gets the atmosphere of Bond right. It's a, you know, younger Bond, different take. Not necessarily on Bond's characteristics, but just, you know, we've never really had like a young, you know, brash Bond just becoming a 007. So I'm optimistic about this. I'm looking forward to it.
So I watched the state of play, and I'm obviously watching it trying to ascertain like what the game will be like to play it when it comes out. And I really struggle with that because the way that it's presented, what they do is supposed to be like a playthrough of a mission, one of the opening missions of the game, presumably. So you can get a taste of what the game is all about. And it starts off with this car journey. And I'm looking at this thinking, if I'm playing it, I'm not driving like that. I can't tell if this is like a really boring cutscene and you don't actually have control in this part of the game, or if this is a really boring player that sticks to the speed limits and drives perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which way it goes, and I'm struggling to translate it to gameplay. But then it carries on with that kind of vibe into the stealth section. And I was really surprised at quite how Hitman it looked in the opening. It's right down to the HUD, but there's something about the camera position and the animations of the character. It's just like, oh, I've played that. That's Hitman. To a spooky degree. And then, like you said, like you anticipated going into it, it goes through that stealth section. It's tighter, it's more linear, it's feels more scripted, and it's, again, quite hard to ascertain whether that's because it's a demo and they are showing you one route through it, or whether it is actually fairly open. But it looks like it will be somewhat tighter, somewhat more directed than a Hitman game. because Hitman's just quite loose in its objectives. It gives you, like, you need to go kill that guy. How about it however you want? And James Bond is not the same experience. So the stealth sections looked utterly dog shit to me. But we know my take on stealth. I couldn't get behind it. Like, it just looks so silly. Everything that he's doing looks so silly. And the way that people do or don't react just looks so silly, and I will never be on board with that. But then it goes into its Uncharted section, like you say, where there's for some reason explosive barrels everywhere, even though the game can't handle them whatsoever. There's so many. Just take those out and your performance problem's probably gone away. But keep them in and I'm happy, right? Stuff exploding all over the place, car chasing that looked weirdly kind of limited, actually, but it's kind of slow and kind of like it's open and it's not, depending on, this is again, you can't tell from the demo like how directed your route through this is. Like, do you have to go through that field? It sounds and looks like you have to go through that field, but it has this slight awkwardness as well, where you can tell that it's a real playable build, because in all the melee stuff that you were talking about, it's got a lot of like context sensitive stuff that in theory I like, where like you're knocking someone into a chest of drawers and the glass is shattering, or you push them off a ledge or whatever else. But it's all not quite tuned. So you watch it and you see him push someone, and the person's pushed, and they just get into the end of their, like, I'm staggering, I'm getting my momentum back, I'm kind of balanced, and they hit the trigger point where they're supposed to fall off the ledge, and suddenly all of that momentum's back again, and they're like, whoa. And it's the same, like, they slowly stagger and they just gently bump some glass, and it just explodes, because that's what's supposed to happen when you push them into the glass. They've got until March to polish that stuff, and it looks, like you say, ambitious, which is good, right? This is the state of play was captured on a base PlayStation 5, so again, like, it's honest. You want them to be honest with these things, really, rather than show everyone the best PC build and pretend that that's what they're going to get on their console. It's not. It is an honest showcase of what you get in on a base PlayStation 5. And even there, like, they've got time to tidy up. They are a very talented studio. I'm very wary of the amount of stealth in there and the mechanics that drive it, but I do like shooting explosive barrels, and I do like the amount of shit that falls apart when you do it. So that,
I'd be quite interested to see what opportunities there are for improvisation. And again, I'd probably ascertain a little bit more from the state of play rather than watching a preview, to be fair. But like you guys have said, with Hitman, because it's sort of semi-open world to a degree, each area has so many different directions, and as Luke said, so many different systems and things moving simultaneously. I'd like to see if there is some of that to a certain extent with Bond, but I think, like you guys have said, it's probably not necessary. But I mean, this footage on screen now, it does look like Hitman with a James Bond skin, which I'm fine with. I love Hitman. I think it's brilliant. So
this particular section that's playing right now had like an almost kind of Monkey Island adventure game vibe to it, though, because it's like, it shows you this open window, it shows you this barrel of leaves or whatever that you can burn, and the lighter is over there, and it's a really specific order of like things you interact with to progress through it. And I hope that it feels more free than that when you actually play it. And then it just looks goofy, because it's like, oh, I set fire to that, this one guy's not looking anymore, therefore nobody in this courtyard will notice me jumping over this railing and climbing this building. Like, what are you talking about? They're gonna look over, there's a thing on fire.
They did they showed some, like, there's some interesting improv stuff that you can do in it as well, which they showed in the state of play, where, like, you know, Bond can try and, as a mechanic, like, you can try and talk your way out of something, which obviously you couldn't do in Hitman, because, you know, Agent 47 is just mute, effectively.
It's just zero charisma.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Bond's a completely different character. So, like, you know, you could approach a situation and try and do it one way, and then, you know, be caught, but you can, you know, use, I think there's a resource that you have that you can build up that you can then kind of deploy to do this, where you can, like, chat your way out of it or bluff through it and then go back to the phase that you were in, or sometimes that will just fail and you'll just be drawn into, you know, Asa territory when the stealth goes away, and you can just shoot everything, the 5,000 barrels that are behind each enemy. So I like that. Like, it was, you know, they were never going to be able to make it like as free form as Hitman or anything, but I wouldn't want that anyway, because I wouldn't want it to just, Bond isn't Hitman, you know, he's not doing, you know, elaborate disguises and then posing as a waiter to poison an espresso martini for someone to drink and then get out of there. Like, he's not doing that stuff. So
he never gets changed in this, does he? So it's not a hitman in that sense. Like, he's not donning costumes.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point he'll don a costume, but like in this bit, he's not. He's being Bond. I liked it a lot.
Good. Anything else on that before we move on to? I don't actually know what we're moving on to. I'm going to ask Deadly Headley what we're moving on
to. We can skip the Indiana Jones and Borderlands stuff.
We will not. So let's so we'll skip Borderlands because that's actually going to come out and we're going to play it and we'll talk about it more when it's there, I think. But let's talk about the other thing that you said, Indiana Jones, because you're an Xbox guy, right? You played Indiana Jones?
I haven't finished it, but yes.
You started it? Indiana Jones is also quite an interesting one for your acquisition of a PC because it's quite a different experience between console and PC as well. Well, no, that's not fair. It's the same experience, but it is also a good way to showcase that PC hardware that you've got.
Yeah. So I've installed this on my PC, but I haven't launched it yet. I bought an SSD last week just because I keep on running out of space. So Indiana Jones has been installed on that, but I've not opened it up yet. I'm really excited to see what it looks like on my PC because it is made for it. I've got a 5080 in my PC, so there's a new feature that has come out for this particular game called RTX Hair, which sounds ridiculous. It sounds quite gimmicky and a bit ridiculous, but I'm here for it. My card is going to do it, so fuck it. We're going to turn on ray traced hair.
That's what I meant when I said it's a completely different experience. It's like, imagine playing that with standardly rendered head there. I don't even know. Like, yeah. Look at your already fine hair.
Non-ray traced hair. So yeah, I do know that it is a real showcase title for PC. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm assuming both of you guys have probably played it on PC, and I want to
played
say
it
also powerful builds.
Bit. So. Yeah, I've got a PC that could do it. When I was playing it, and I got through the first section, I did the Vatican and all that stuff. Went to the next area, and I was like, you know what? This hair looks shit. I'm putting this down. I didn't actually say that anticipating that they would fix it. I was just furious. I was like, I don't like the way the hair moves. This game is not for me. And I
really? Was that genuinely a criticism?
No, I've not played any game that has human hair since. I'm just like, I hate this. I can't bear it. I'm not playing any games that have humans in them anymore, apart from Hitman, because, you know.
That's good.
So... No, like I played it and I fell off of it. Actually, I think it's really freaking impressive. Not just it's got the technology going for it, but it captures what Indiana Jones is supposed to be so well. Yeah. So I kind of regret that I fell off of it. I didn't enjoy the puzzles very much, but I hope to pick it up again.
I think it was the pace for me.
That's a lie.
Wasn't necessarily. it was the pace for me that I didn't necessarily grab me at the time. But I think. There is just this ongoing problem of there being too much to play and too much content, and it's brilliant, but it's also difficult to try and commit to all of the games that you want to play because they're all time consuming in one way or another. But I do really want to go back to indie, so I think this might be a ray traced hair might be the reason that just pushes me over the edge.
It might be the thing that stealth gameplay has been lacking all this time, like the missing piece of the puzzle for me. It's all going to click when the hair is moving how I expect it to. What else have we got? Have we got anything else, or shall we move on to our questions?
I don't particularly want to talk about the Call of Duty movie. Do either of you? Are either of you excited about the Call of Duty movie? That's the topic.
Absolutely not. No, I was going to do, and I might still or I might not. I've been doing my weekly news roundup videos, and I was going to include it there just to rip into it. Like, this Call of Duty movie. Is it going to be based on World War II? Is it going to be based on bendy bridges? Is it going to have like American Dad dancing around in a mech? Why is there a Call of Duty movie? You don't need to license World War II in that way.
Yeah, this is like just like to briefly touch on it. That's exactly my thought on the whole film. I'm like, okay, I get why they're making Call of Duty movie. It's a very bankable IP, But I'm like, Call of Duty has absolutely no discernible identity of its own at all. Like, there is nothing that I can think of and pick out and go, that's Call of Duty. Like, at least, you know, any other like game to movie or game to TV show IP, there is so much stuff that makes it, you know, that and actually, you know, people want to be pulled from the game. Like, they want like a theme or like a part of the game or like part of its personality to be pulled into whatever the other medium is. With this, I'm like, what is it? I mean, there's nothing. I mean, you could literally make any run-of-the-mill action movie and you could slap Call of Duty on it and you could go, yeah, that's probably Call of Duty. So I'm genuine. Like, the only reason I'm interested in it is from that perspective of like, okay, well, what does it? What will it mean to be a Call of Duty film? You know, it's got no personality. So
yeah, it's going to be a weird one. I think it is just going to be one of those mindless, bombastic, fun kind of things. If you like that sort of thing, like Fast and Furious or anything Michael Bay's made recently.
And that'll be fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's more just like,
is it worth it?
Are there Call of Duty super fans out there being like, yeah, you know, I can't wait for this to be converted into a film? Like, I would not understand it if so.
No, me neither.
Same.
No,
I'm sure I'll be fine for its money-wise and awareness, I guess, but.
I guess the only other part of the story, I'm literally just going to read the headline and we can talk about it and then move on. Steven Spielberg reportedly wanted to direct the new Call of Duty film, but Activision was spooked because he wanted full control. I would just let him do it. It's fucking Spielberg. Like,
it would have been a good movie then as well.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
So I don't really, I don't really get it.
Yeah, so the story there for people that are like blah 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 is apparently he's very particular about the level of control that he has over a film and the final cut and all the rest of it. And I can understand anyone if you're making like a deal with a license, IP control is important, right? So I get why Microsoft and Activision will be like, actually, we'll keep hold of this, because you might say no to having Nicki Minaj in it and a battle pass in the film somehow.
No, Steven Spielberg, we want Beavis and Butthead in this.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it doesn't have Roger from American Dad. Then what's the point, Steven?
Yeah, they've got to protect that, right? If you're Activision, you can't let someone just derail that shit.
I mean, that is the personality of Call of Duty, right? Complete bollocks. Like, just absolute nonsense. So yeah, if they're going for that, then don't get Spielberg involved, who will make it coherent.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, let's go on to our questions, because the questions are always good, and we might have a few. And the first one is already out. It says, it's Tom, which means it's going to be the good one. It says he's out this evening, so he can't watch us beautiful boys, and he's spelled with an I. Tom, that's my answer to your question. But the question is, what's not to like?
Good question.
I've given my answer. It's boys with an I.
Nice.
Lack of time to play all the games. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mine is I don't know. I've not had. I've got a bit of a cough at the minute. I had a bit like bronchitis, so that's not to like.
Oh.
Although that's getting better now, so that's okay. And Call of Duty, I think generally not to like. So
strong. Okay, fine, cool. Let's do the next one. It's from Isla. It says, can you convince Asa to make videos? The people want videos. I can answer that for you. No, nobody can convince me to do anything. So, I don't know what else we can do for that one. Is there anything you want to add?
No. You do what you want.
No.
I do.
You don't be peer pressured.
I haven't made a video in ages, and I really struggled to find the time.
You haven't, have you?
So last one I made was about the announcement that Sarah Bond did with the AMD partnership and future hardware plans and stuff like that. That's quite nice.
Are you planning to get back to it?
I'd like to, honestly. like so much of my free headspace at the moment is trying to figure out what the hell happens work-wise, because it's all still up in the air. And I'm gonna be a dad in like 5 months, so yeah, gotta get that worked out.
I definitely do have videos on the way. I just haven't decided if I do the weekly news one this week or not. There's definitely some stuff coming next week of some variety, so no bullying required. Iron Brew.
So, sorry, Isla. Maybe next time, but I'll go easy on it.
Yeah. This is Isla again. This is Iron Brew. Rating out of 10. It's my favourite juice. Iron Brew out of 10.
Like a good 8 out of 10. Iron Brew. I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like an Iron Brew.
I haven't had the drink in a long time. But do you remember they used to do like a
chewy bars?
Chewy
Absolutely.
bar. Yeah, they were great. I really like those, and I like the new advert as well, because I'm a big advertising guy. Being well, currently still working in that field. Yeah, I like the ads. The new ads good. I got to tell you something sad about it though. So the new Iron Brew ad is. And I'm not Scottish, but I would say it's fairly quintessentially Scottish. It's the first Iron Brew ad to not be made in Scotland because they moved the advertising work and agency down to London, which I think is quite sad.
That's a bit sad. Yeah.
It is. Oh.
What
12 out of 10. Well, I've just seen
nice.
the follow-up that it's secretly to decide who's favourite, so I'm going with a 12. I reckon that's
maybe you should
that's
add
a fair
it to
gamble
coffee,
to be favourite.
Wine rotation.
I could coffee,
like
wine, and Iron Brew.
coffee,
Absolutely.
Wine. Yeah.
And Deadly Headley's right. The chews, I don't know why, but they elevate the drink because they tell you actually there is a signature taste to that because them chews were really damn distinct. Like, okay, fine. This is a real thing. It's not a lie. It is made of girders. Next one, please. Yeah. There's not a next one. There's not a next one. I'm panicking because I can't talk about Iron Brew for that long. This is from Pete. It's your final drink. Wow. We had last week, by the way, I've been derailed immediately because last week Amin was asking me, I can't remember if it was this show or something else, about like final meals, like you're on death row on what you're going to eat or something morbid like that. And now Pete's come in. It's your final drink before you're warped out of existence. Alcoholic or not, tell us what your last drink would be and why. Mine would be the blood of my enemies.
Nice.
I don't think I need to say why. That's my answer.
Good. It depends how much bullshit there is on the other side, because I need coffee before dealing with bullshit. If there is a no bullshit guarantee, whiskey and lemonade. It's actually whiskey and lemonade before dealing with bullshit is quite pretty good too. Yeah, probably whiskey and lemonade.
I like that because it's grown up and child at the same time. Like you don't know where you are. You
nice.
You want to be a grown up with your whiskey,
nice
but also you want to be.
Yeah, you get like
lemonade.
wedge of lime in there, bit of ice. It's a really nice drink actually. Goes down really well.
Yeah.
Luke?
I'm surprised yours wasn't coffee and wine, Asa. You know, the mix. I like to go out on them both.
I'm told that that's a terrible idea and I shouldn't be mixing them. So no, don't have the Gaviscon there, right?
Yeah. Well, it won't matter because you're going to die thereafter. So, so you go for it. You know, mine would be probably like an old fashioned, something like that.
You got, haven't you? Fancy pants. Don't even know what that is. I'm not fancy. What's an old fashioned?
It's a whiskey cocktail
with
lemonade.
Cocktail. Is it whiskey and lemonade?
No, it's bourbon, Angostura bitters, usually a bit of water, ice, and some orange slice.
Bit of like burnt orange peel or something.
Sometimes you can have a bit of an orange peel. It's nice.
Fair.
Better than coffee and wine.
Okay, Painful Discourse. Anyone interested in Hell Is Us? I really liked the demo and even some apparent shortcomings in the combat department didn't lower my interest. The atmosphere and ideas seemed great. So Hell Is Us was another one that was in the title for the show. Before Amin got all pissy at me for having Metal Legion in the title for the show, so I've removed it since. I am quite interested in it. I like the fact that it goes very light on HUD. because I like games that have that sort of presentation. But I haven't played it, so I can't say a lot about it or when I'm going to get to it. Have either of you looked at Hell Is Us, or is it on your agenda, on your radar to play at some point?
Yes, I played the demo. I really enjoyed the demo. I didn't enjoy the combat very much. I felt it was a bit not very. It's just not very engaging. Like the feedback of hits and stuff wasn't that great. But I really liked everything else apart from that. So I held off on it from that on that basis. But I've heard really, really good things about it in the final game, just generally. So I think it's one I will get to, but not yet. Mm-hmm. Like somewhere down the line, I will get to it, hopefully. It's definitely up my alley, what it's doing.
I played some of the demo. I haven't finished the demo, but what I did play, I liked. It's really atmospheric. I like that it doesn't really give you much in terms of the environment and sort of hand holding. I've appreciated that a lot more in games. As of late over the last couple of years, it's been quite nice. Hollow Knight is very much like that as well. I think I'm probably same answer as Luke. I'll pick it up at some point. It's fairly cheap, or it was fairly cheap on pre-order on CD Keys. I don't know what it's like now. CD Keys has changed its name.
It has. We're not sponsored by Loaded. Come on now.
Sponsored by Loaded.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? Because that was like a naughty-ish magazine back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the UK it was. Yeah, it was a lads mag. So I don't know if they quite thought that one through, really. But
no, I don't think so.
It's extra Google search, It's fine. They'll get a new audience. Disappointed audience, perhaps, but.
It's like the magazine's like long dead, I think. I'm sorry to anyone running Loaded if you're listening to this and it's still going, but
yeah. I had something and I've lost. Oh, the Hell Is Us demo. I swore to myself, I knew there was a demo, and I went to actually download it today. And I searched for Hell Is Us on Steam, and the demo didn't come up. So it is reassuring there is one. I will go back and look again and find it because I'm curious. I just wanted to record a tiny bit of it for a video.
Let me just see. Is it still in?
It's
not on my library list anymore. It may have.
No,
they may have removed the demo when the game launched.
They might have taken it down.
Oh, fair enough.
Spoil sports
indeed. Right, Gaming with Passion. Amin has asked, are you excited to see Nicki Minaj in the new Call of Duty movie?
Of course.
We were all we've spoken about the Call of Duty movie. I don't think any of us are too thrilled to see it, regardless of who's in it right now. But you never know. It might turn out to be a fucking awesome movie, and then we'll all look silly, won't we, in a couple of years' time? No.
I won't.
No, you won't.
Hell Is Us is $27.39 on loaded.com. Just a FYI.
It's not bad. That is not bad.
No, it's not bad.
This one's not for me. I'm excluded. Fucking Amin. For Luke and Deadly Headley, what would be your last meal? So I'm glad to be excluded because...
these are always really difficult because there's so many things I could think of. But... Yeah, probably like a really nice New York strip and like a half a lobster.
I'm not included, so the Hearts of Your Enemies is right there.
Yeah, Asa's Coffee and Wine Extravaganza. And I don't know, some sort of fudge sundae to finish it off. It's quite American, that. It's quite like old-timey 1960s, die in your 50s from a Heart episode American meal, but that's what I'd go for.
I would ask if I could make it myself because I make a really, really nice mac and cheese. Like a really good one with it's like a 5 cheese mac and cheese with like a bacon parmesan and
Careful, Deadly Headley. You are not that far away from me.
Topping on the it's good. It's good. You like it. It's got like a crumb on the top. It's amazing. And then
it's becoming an invitation. This
right. There's a pub near me which, and I do not say this lightly, had the best sticky toffee pudding I have ever had in my life. And I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to sticky toffee puddings. So yeah, probably that. Yeah, with some vanilla ice cream on it. That was, go down nicely.
Next, please. Oh, God, don't Google Reader's Waves. What are you hoping to find? Come on now. I've actually never heard of that one, to be fair. This says, no, Isla, you can't put it back up again. It says, convince me to make videos, but we've already been over that, so that's not a real one. Thank you for the enthusiasm. There are videos coming, I promise. That's it. That was our questions. We've done it. So, this was nice. It's working. This is a good panel. I've enjoyed it. It's been good to talk to you both. So thank you for that. And thank you for everyone that's come through and spoken to us. We have reached the end of today, which is a tidy little one. So I'm going to start with Luke. Luke, tell people what you're up to and anything else that you want to tell them, really.
I'm up to nothing apart from this, basically, and playing games and working. So if you want to see some latte art, go and join the Discord.
Haven't seen any for a while. Are you still doing that?
I'm doing it every day, mate. Every day.
Shit,
every day, just improving. But not in the. No, I'm not adding pictures every day. I don't want to spam it. You know, there needs to be some level of shock and awe when I reveal these beautiful works of art. But yeah, just go and join the Discord, and then my socials are about. But join the Discord.
Yeah, do that. Deadly Headley, thank you for coming and joining us again.
That's okay.
It's worked well. It's been good. So please say whatever you want to say to people.
I've missed podcasting with you guys, so I'm looking forward to doing it again soon. I will probably start making videos again soon. Painful Discourse, I see you asking if I'm going to do more contributions to Xbox Era. Hopefully. Honestly, I have really struggled to find the time to make stuff for other people, largely because in the last couple of months I have had to just put all of my energy and focus into making a portfolio and finding a new job, which is sort of going okay, but at the same time, like, I still haven't found a new job. When that settles down, I want to start making more stuff. If you do want to go into the content that I have previously made, you can check out my channel on YouTube at Deadly Headley. And I'd like to stream there more too. That is something that I'm planning on doing again when actually life just sort of just regulates a little bit, because it's a bit nuts right now. But I'll be around. I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky and YouTube, and post there whenever I make or stream stuff. So you can find me there.
Perfect. Also, I'm in those places. I'm on Discord. There will be videos on this channel. There will be streams on the other channel as well, the Basic Games channel, where I do the games and stuff. More things coming all the time. I think I'll be with Burly Bird Media tomorrow doing the Dungeon Master stream as well. I haven't actually confirmed that 100%, but I'll find out and let you know in Discord. So be in Discord and you'll always know what's going on. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.